you can trust your intuition during challenging times. Keep watching to find out how. Hi, this is Tanya Carroll Richardson. I'm a professional intuitive and spiritual author, and today I'm coming to you with a brand new angel video all about trusting your intuition during challenging times. So right now, as I'm filming this, it is April of 2020, and most of the world is dealing with a pandemic that is making people feel vulnerable with their health. It's making them feel vulnerable with their finances. They're emotionally struggling. So there's a lot going on right now, and I wanted to first just come to you and let you know that I'm holding you in my heart and just connect with you and let you know that I'm here. And also I wanted to give you some tools for how you can trust your intuition during this challenging time. Now, if you're watching this video years later, you might have been drawn to it because there's something else going on in the world that's challenging, or you're having something happen in your personal life that's very challenging. So let's get started right away with the tools for how you can trust your intuition in challenging times. So my first tip for you is connect with your intuition when you're not feeling emotionally overwhelmed. So when you're going through a challenge or a crisis, it's very common to have days where you feel really emotionally overwhelmed and intense. That's normal. If that's happening for you, get support any way that you need it so that you can feel supported when you're feeling extra emotional. That's important. But often when you call friends that are going through a difficult time and say, hey, how are you doing? The friend will say, I have good days and I have bad days. So remember that when you're in a crisis, you will have days where you feel emotionally overwhelmed, and then you'll have days that feel better because you feel calmer, you feel more centered. So connect with your intuition on those days when you do feel calmer, more centered, and you're like, gosh, this afternoon I felt really peaceful, I felt good. That's the time to connect with your intuition. Avoid connecting with your intuition when you're emotionally overwhelmed or feeling very emotionally intense, because that takes up a lot of space in your system, and your intuition works best when you make room for it. So nothing wrong with feeling emotionally overwhelmed and intense. That's natural to feel that way sometimes, but it takes up so much space in your system, your intuition won't be able to get through and give you the good guidance you need. The second tip I have for you is get a second opinion on your own intuition. So clients will come to me, a professional intuitive, for a second opinion on their own intuition. And you can also just go to a friend or loved one that's really wise and you trust their counsel and they've got a good intuition, and just say, hey, I'm thinking of doing this, that's where I'm leaning with my intuition. What do you think objectively I should do in this situation? And second opinions are always a good idea. So often doctors will say, I'm going to go away and ask my colleague for a second opinion about your case, or feel free to get a second opinion about this recommended surgery. And the same is true with your intuition. So for example, if you're using your intuition to navigate a financial challenge, get a second opinion from a financial planner or from your accountant or a tax attorney or someone who is a professional and an expert in the field. So don't be afraid to get those second opinions. They're really important. Third tip I have for you is about synchronicities. So synchronicities is how you can get a second opinion from the universe. Synchronicities are what Carl Jung defined as meaningful coincidences, and they can show up as a song that plays on the radio, or a message on a billboard, or an angel number you see in an address, or a book a friend recommends at work. And it's something outside of yourself that seems to confirm your own intuitive inclination or lead you in a new direction. And people will ask me, well, Tanya, how can I know if something was really a synchronicity or if it was wishful thinking? And I will always say, a synchronicity because of how you feel. So some people say seeing is believing, I say feeling is believing. So with a synchronicity, you're going to feel like time will slow down a little bit. You could get physical sensations like chills. Often with synchronicities, the moment will play back in the hours and days afterwards, like, that felt really important, that felt really meaningful, that keeps cycling back up in my mind. The next tip I have for trusting your intuition during challenging times is to stay flexible. So it's normal during a challenge or a crisis to want to have a game plan, that makes you feel more sturdy, more strong, more grounded, and your intuition can help you come up with a good game plan. But stay flexible, because during a crisis or a challenge, things are often changing quickly. They can change day to day, they can change week to week, they could change hour to hour. So let your intuition have room to course correct. Remember, your intuition is part of your natural GPS system. So just like when you're driving, if you take a wrong turn, the GPS will course correct. So stay flexible and open during a crisis with all your game plans, because it gives your intuitive system a chance to course correct for you, just like the GPS on your car will. The fifth tip I have for you is self-care. Everyone knows how important I think self-care is, and I have a book coming out, SelfCare for Empaths, in September of this year. And self-care really helps you feel grounded and centered. And it's funny, people always come to me as an intuitive and say, Tanya, how can I get my intuition even stronger, even more powerful? And taking care of your earthly needs is the answer. So the more you can take care of your sleep and your food and getting your bills paid on time and having healthy relationships, the more it allows you to go into those more mystical realms where you're doing all the fun mystical stuff with your intuition. So however you can in a crisis, I know it can be challenging, try and prioritize your own self-care. The last tip I have for you is connect with your head, your heart, and your past experiences. So your intuition is never meant to bypass the logic of your head or the emotional wisdom of your heart or even your past experiences with a person or situation. Your intuition can be reconciled with all of those things. So remember, it's okay to run your intuitive hits through your logical mind or through your emotional heart or even through your past experiences, and try and reconcile them all for best results. Thank you so much for being here with me. It's been really a pleasure to be able to connect with clients and people during this time. I'm working with Mind Body Green. I write for them a lot to do some special articles for this time during the pandemic, so people have more free content to help them. And you can get those articles just by signing up for my free newsletter on my website. There's a link below this video to do that. And I do have 2 new books coming out this year. The first one is called Are You an Earth Angel? That comes out in June. Really excited about it. It's turning out to be very timely, and I think a lot of you will relate to being Earth Angels. And then the next book is the Self-Care for Empaths that comes out in September. Lots of fun exercises and quizzes and rituals so that empaths can take really good care of themselves and honor that special empathic sensitivity they have. I am sending you so much love, and I feel the angels, archangels, and guardian angels, and everybody, and even your angels kind of pulling closer to us all right now and increasing that love from me to you, your self-love. I hope you can feel it, and I hope you join me on this channel for more angel videos.